unfortunately, came up short. You know, the part that our guys did from last Sunday to where we are out there today, and they knew they were going to give their very best to get a victory out there today. Prepared all week. Obviously, a lot of noise going on, and everything that they just stayed focused on the task at hand. I really give my hat to Mississippi State, you know, to come back and get the victory and earn it. Two tough games for them back to back. Our guys really, you know, played with great energy, great composure. Did a lot of things during the course of the week to get us to where we were. They really, I think, bought into everything we asked them to do. I couldn't be more proud of where they're at. They had a very upset locker room, very emotional. Very guys got a lot invested in today's game, and to come up short is tough. So, injury-wise, you know, we just kind of piecing it together. Unfortunately, just a lot of guys. Yelda tried to, bless his heart, tried to go out there today and just couldn't maintain it, sustain it. He did everything he could to get back out there. It was just an ankle injury that he couldn't push off. At Zach Rogers, they told us he's going to be out, came back in. Obviously got cleared by the doctors, but gave us everything he could, and just short numbered there in the offensive line. Davion really got hit pretty good over there on that boundary shot, and knocked him out. It was concussed, so obviously had to pull him out. And then just a couple guys during the course of the game got a little banged up and went back in. Austin Allen, I know it's getting down to the end for him here, and I know he was going to do everything he could to be back out there, so he rallied it and got back out. But other than that, I don't think anything's you know, overly serious. We'll have a lot better feeling it tomorrow. So we have 1 week, short week, obviously with the game on Friday. So we have a tremendous amount of work starting tomorrow, and some things we've already done in preparation for Missouri. So this is always a unique prep, just because they got classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we'll go a little bit early, and then Thursday will be a day before the game while everybody else celebrating Turkey Day. So I think our guys will lock in to get to a 5-win season, to be able to battle on the borderline trophy, and be able to play this game at the end. You know, a little bit of solace that we can win at home and have an opportunity to get to a victory for that senior class walking out. Not a lot of guys on that class, but a lot of really good people. A lot of players that we've grown a lot with and battled through a lot. So it's going to be an exciting week, and I think one of the guys will answer for.
Okay, we'll start with questions up front with Trey.
Coach, you said the outside noise. This is a two-part question.
Yeah.
First, do you feel like if the season was going in a different direction, there wouldn't be all of that outside noise? And then second, the fourth down call to go for it instead of punt the ball there late?
Yeah, so outside noise, you know, obviously with Jeff's announcement on Wednesday, there was going to be, but it's probably easier for people once you're in the room to realize it, and it really wasn't hard for a lot of our guys, including myself, close to Jeff. So it's kind of one of those moments where you take a deep breath, you realize what just happened. I thought the way that our players, not only our players, but a lot of student athletes, reached out to Jeff and said things wasn't surprising, but also heartwarming, I'm sure, for him, and makes you feel like you're doing the right by the kids, at least. The idea to go for it on fourth, we had run, if you know the part during the course of the game earlier, we had run two similar fourth down or in a goal line situation where we run a play that looks just like it. We've never run the play action pass off of it. Unfortunately, Jay Nance was the guy that was supposed to be in there. He had to get brought out because of the injury, and then we thought we had a real good shot. We made a decision at halftime that we were going to, next critical down, short yardage down, that we were going to go for it. We said the night before, last night, we're going to do everything we can to win this game. We're going to do everything we can to keep swinging, keep fighting, and obviously that was an example of it.
The coaches seemed displeased about something on that play as well, and also you got some bounces, like it hit off a guy's back and the kick ball down to the one. Did you feel like maybe it was going to be your day when, based on those type of plays?
There were some you know, when you talk about the fumble with David, and obviously you know, there were a couple that went against us too. There were some plays that but you can't sit around and wait for breaks. You got to create your breaks, and the guys were battling again. I think you get breaks when you start playing really hard, playing really physical, and I think our guys did that.
Third row to your right, Coach Kurt.
Hey, Bret, have you been given any indication from above as to how Jeff's firing affects you, and what's your What is your concern level right now for your future?
No, haven't. I've had conversations with Julie, but nothing in reflection to other than just try to do everything we could to win this game, do everything we can to win the next game. We had recruits in town, keep recruiting, do as best we can to get ready for recruiting season and the year ahead of us. My anxiety or my thoughts or feelings are anything different from week one to where we are now. Really, as a head coach, you may not believe that, but it's really the way I operate. For the guys that really know me, I just line up and do my job. There's things that are all around you that really take that thinking out of your hands. You know, that's why you have a coaching style, you have a faith, you have a belief, you have a coaching staff, you have players that you've recruited, you have contracts, you have everything around you that don't make you think like that. I get why we have to, and I get Jeff was my boss. I get it, or the next level for me in administration. So, but it's really not difficult to think of anything other than our players.
Yeah, Brett, when did Dylan Hayes move back to offense, and just what you think of the defensive?
Yeah, Dylan moved back probably 3 weeks ago. I think when we officially lost Frank, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that week was when we just were low on numbers. We didn't know if Yelda was. There was a couple guys were in question, so we moved Dylan back to offense. I know it's been at least 3 weeks, and what was the other part? Well, they came out. They were fired up. Huge, turnovers in the first half. Had a huge impact on the game, and kind of that's what we've been preaching to our guys. When we make, now we'll state the obvious, when you make plays, good things happen. And great energy. It carries over to the entire defense. Obviously, the flip side of it, when they created turnovers, and then on the bad snap with a punt there to get that deep shallow. But I thought our second half guys came in, we rebooted and did some things a little bit different in the second half to give us a chance, and just running out of dogs. I mean, running out of people to get out there. We've been unfortunately very very certain guys at certain, but if we can't overcome a lot at the same position, you know what I mean? So there's a point there where we're down to our third string center. I don't think I've ever had that in my coaching career, and that's kind of the glue of everything that you got on offense.
Coach, can you speak on Sosa game? He seemed to really come out with a surge.
He did.
Spark the defense.
Sosa's grown every game. He's a obviously very talented player, but maturity-wise, I think that's the part that's exciting for our guys. Is you see this morning again, so we have the way we dismiss the guys for pregame meal, and so I go seniors, and there was literally like 7 guys that stood up that travels with us. So I right away called juniors, and that was true. And then I yelled sophomores, and 2/3 it's like two-thirds of the room stands up and goes. And he's in that sophomore class. There's a lot of talent around him. He's understanding the big picture really well. I think you saw that first turnover. He just saw that he had a chance to track it and hit it, and then I think Briston came up with it. Another redshirt freshman guys, and Briston was pretty emotional after the game. I know he had a lot invested. He came and said something to me before the game. I knew he was into it, so it was good.
Brett, just kind of looking back, you talked about being close, and I know
I didn't say that. I know you like to play with that word, but I didn't say it.
What's that?
I don't know. You said I was close.
I'm just talking about looking back over the season. I know you've said a couple times that things, you're getting close or whatever, and you've been optimistic. What can you kind of sum up what this year's been like?
Yeah,
for you?
I think this was a case in point today. Put a lot of time, a lot of effort. Our guys believed in the way the game started. You saw there they have every intention of not only just expecting or playing to win, expecting to win. And they do so many positive things. Made a couple guys that made plays in the first half, rebounded in the second half after that momentum swung. I did share with those guys because I made the point on Sunday. This team, everybody watched them last Saturday night, right? Mississippi State played Alabama down to the wire. Unfortunately, they lost at the end of the game to a team that's ranked #1 in the country. So coming into this week, we knew where they were playing at, and now we get down to the very final drive, and the flip side of it happens to us. So it's just how delicate that winning edge is, and the ability to pull through in those moments. I think our guys are learning some valuable life lessons. It's just whether or not they want to choose to learn from them, and they are. They'll come back. They'll practice this week, and they'll be ready to play and give everything they can for Missouri.
Brett, when you're in the fourth quarter like that, and you
you're at home,
Mhm.
and you expect to probably have more fans. Could it have made a difference if the stadium was a little bit more full there?
You might want to ask the kids that. I didn't feel that. I thought our guys were really, really fired up. There was great energy on the sidelines. I really don't turn around and look at the stands other than, obviously when you're walking in, but I don't know what the announced crowd was or anything like that. I have no idea. But the fans were there. Thank you very much. It was a good game. Hopefully they want to win just as bad as we do, but the ones that showed up today are ones strong in faith, and I appreciate it.
Brett, on the 4th and 2 pass, is Petway, that deep ball, is that the first option there? And if so,
There's a couple.
What gave you confidence that you could hit that?
Yeah, that's again, it's a playoff of several times this year when we've been in short yard situations or after a big play where we run one scored earlier for a touchdown. There was one that I believe it was the second touchdown. We ran the same play, so it's a run, play action pass off of it. And again, we really felt good about the call. Made a decision to run with it, and there's a variety of guys that can run that route, but it was again probably just a little bit of execution as well as a throw, and we were hoping maybe to get a call there by the other guy, by the official too, but obviously it didn't happen.
Couple more back row, Jason. Cole was in the stands in the student section today. Do you have an update on what may transpire, with him?
Cole Kelly, yeah. Just that, he came in on Sunday. We had a lengthy conversation. Monday, after I talked to administration and told them what the plan was, it was going to go through some protocol that he has to go through within the university. The biggest thing I wanted him to do is, this is a huge learning curve, learning moment for him. He's such a bright future and got so many positive things in front of him. Saw him a couple times during the course of the week. I didn't, when we suspend a player, we don't remove him from anything other than football. They had full use. Obviously, he's got a turf toe that he's getting treatment on every day. Full use to academic facilities. All their dining is available in the Jones Center. So, I know he was down during the course of the week. Had some communication with him, but if he checks all the boxes that I asked him to check before this week was over, which I think he's done, making contact with all the people he has to, he'll be back with us on Sunday and be able to engage with us last week.
Hey, Brett, what did Briston say to you, if you don't mind me asking that?
Before the game?
Yeah.
Just get this one, coach. So came up and gave me a big hug. Briston's a neat kid, man. He's a guy we offered early on, and a very emotional player, a guy that I think has grown a lot. He's just been here 2 years, but the growth that he's had beyond football is absolutely awesome. It's fun. That's some stuff that you get into it for.
Couple more. We'll go to Demetrius and try.
Hey, Coach, I know you all wanted to get Ty some reps in there. What was the call or the mindset behind putting him in on third?
Yeah, there was a play that it was actually something that we had repped going way back when Cole was there, and then when Cole wasn't there a couple weeks ago when we didn't know if he's going to be healthy, so Ty had run all those reps. But that play right there, they gave us a different stem right at the last moment. We should have had some guys blocking down and would have made the play bounce to the outside. But Ty has had probably the last 2 weeks of practice here have been very, very clean. He's kind of has a lot invested and has been waiting for his opportunity, so we really want to try to give him a rep out there today. And then the way that first play worked made us a little hesitant to go back to it.
Coach, I know you still have one more game left this season, but if you look back, where did it start to go wrong?
That's probably a good question. Too much focused on what has happened probably to give you a best answer, but I know as you go through a season as a head coach, you always kind of just take the week that just happened and the week in front of it. You don't really have a chance to sit down and look at hey, this happened, this didn't happen. I would say three things probably, jump out. Obviously, when we weren't able to convert and do things in the second half, offense, defense gave us issues. When we were able to do it, we had success. That I'm not going to sit up here and poor boy injuries, but there was injuries that had a huge effect on not just the field, but in the locker room when the way we do things, your seniors and your juniors and guys in those positions are some of your best leaders on the field are also your best voices. And to take that out of it is very, very difficult. And then, just as this league is, the SEC and the SEC West in particular, it's merciless on once you're into it. There's no reprieve. There's no every game is going to be a struggle. And obviously this week with Missouri, you look at where they were at early in the year, and I don't know what if they played even yet today. I know they got Vanderbilt, but you just got to, in this league, it's just literally survive each week in advance. I think whether you're in first place or in last place, that's kind of where everybody's at.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. We'll pick.